I have a confession to make, my friends, and that is my recent virginity and foray into EDC. Now, personally, I thought I would have hated the concept of worrying about the things you carry, but recently I put up quite a little bit of a collection and things that I actually carry on me that are useful. And with that comes knives. So in this case, I've gotten a couple knives. This is a really cheap M-Tech from Amazon. This one is another one from Temu.com, which is probably the sharpest thing I've ever held in my hands, other than my cock. And of course, with knives comes the necessity for a knife sharpener. Now, like an absolute troglodyte, I decided to go for a bunch of pull-through sharpeners, things that aren't necessarily the best for your knives. And eventually, I came across this Work Sharp field sharpener. Of course, I put it towards the camera and it doesn't focus, but you can see what it is here. It's a five-step system that is essentially designed to get your knife as razor sharp as possible. And as a novice virgin, I am thoroughly impressed with the capacity of this. Enough to make a video about it here on Pigcakee Plus, which rarely sees video. So I thought, hey, why not? Why not make a video about this wonderful piece? Now, as a full-time virgin magician, I really don't have the funds to purchase good knives. So this one is one that was bestowed upon me from my landlord's dead grandfather to Smith & Wesson. It's a shit knife. And before, this could barely cut. Then came this piece, and now this is as razor sharp as any knife could possibly be. And it's so simple to do with this because it even guides you with the right angles. So it shows you exactly pretty much how you need to sharpen a knife without any worry. It has all these features, like it lets you get a fine, a coarse, and in this case, a fish hook for a ceramic rod. And I gotta tell you, there's nothing more cathartic in my life than sharpening a knife. It just makes you focus on the blade and focusing on getting it as sharp as possible. And it makes you forget about things in your life like, I don't know, IRS. It even has a leather strap here that you could use to actually hone the blade of the knife. They really thought about everything. And for under, I would say $30, I think this might be one of the best things I've ever purchased. As I mentioned before, I don't even know what steel is in this terrible knife, but before I couldn't cut, and now look at this. Look at that. Look at that precision cut with this knife thanks to that sharpener. One thing that I've also noted about the community when it comes to these bad boys is their virginity. This one is still the king. I don't know what this is. I don't know what Chinese hands had an effect in making these and putting these together, but just look at how this glides through the paper. I want to know more about this, and I want to know if there are other bigger and better knives. So if you happen to be a knife fanatic in the comment section, let me know what knives I should possibly get that would continue my foray into, I guess, EDC virginity. A sentence that makes me want to throw up inside of my mouth. Just look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. No effort whatsoever. I'm holding this at the fingertips and it still glides right through without any effort whatsoever. I mean, that took a little bit of effort, but that's user error. Even this is a shitty M-Tech that I got from Amazon for about $6. This has been my favorite knife overall, even despite its shitty price, because it has a bottle opener. And I know that people really frown on the use of bottle openers in their tech, but I need one. I use one almost every day. And it contained in a knife, I think, is a very useful tool, especially in this form factor. It's very easy to carry. I actually edged this and I filed this, I would say, lanyard hole into a little bit of a pry bar. So that's a little bit of a adjustment that I made. But this one, it's look at that. It cuts perfectly now. Before it cut well, but with that sharpener, it just makes this feel way more expensive than it actually is. Even this is a shitty knockoff of a Victorinox. I don't know which in particular this is. This definitely isn't up to the quality of a standard Victorinox, but sharpening it with the Work Sharp makes this feel just as good. Also, I urge you, if you have any leftover knives in your collection that you want to part ways with, I have a P.O. box you could find linked down below. You could send me some bad boys. Maybe I might show them on video. Who knows, boys? Some advice at the end of the video involves these. These are the brand new Ray-Ban glasses that let you record things. The only unfortunate downside is that to get my prescription in this is very, very expensive. So I popped off the old frames that I had. But look at the gap that it leaves. It's kind of annoying, but I prefer that than not being able to see or paying a stupid amount of money so I could actually put my prescription on these bad boys. But these might be also something that I'm very thoroughly happy with. I like to ride on my bike, and one of my big issues was music, especially on a loud motorcycle. So this takes care of that because my ears are still open, so the cops can't pull me over for wearing headphones, which is something that's happened to me before. But I could listen to whatever song I want. It's a little bit dangerous because if you're listening to Separate Ways by Journey, it really gets you riding like an asshole. But again, a little bit of advice. I highly recommend these if you are a motorcyclist looking for ways to listen to music.
I see you again, when 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 I see you again.